Right, alleged infighting in the British royal family appears to be continuing after the Duke of Sussex attended his father's coronation without his wife Meghan and left immediately thereafter. Media reports suggest Prince Harry wasn't invited to appear on the balcony of Buckingham Palace following the ceremony. Culture transformation expert Vicky Sleight joins us now for more on this. Vicky, good to have you. Sorry for pulling you out of your concert. We'll take you right back in there in just a moment. The
feud concert is going on right now.
The feud between Prince Harry and the family is showing no signs of healing. I mean, earlier on, just before the coronation, he was not even sure whether he would attend, but he did finally attend, and Twitter has been a buzz around where he was sitting and so on and so forth. How do you read what went on yesterday?
Well, and the thing is, I think, and I've kind of spoken to a lot of people about this, and to be honest, there was one damp squib yesterday, and it was Harry. So from the king being crowned to a very nervous Camilla, it was a ceremony that will be placed in the history books, with lots of standout moments from the King's prayer, which led into the paths of peace, which obviously, in terms of the family, if you think about it that way, Prince William movingly placing the crown on his father, the king, and giving him the kiss and being thanked by his father. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful from beginning to end. And even if you aren't a lover of the royal family, the sincerity in which they carried themselves and pledged the service to the people and country was actually undeniable. Prince Harry, to me, when I watched it, cut a very lonely figure sitting 3 rows back on his short visit, and of course walked in by himself. But, you know, it is his son's birthday, and so back in the US. But one thing that everyone noticed that was that Princess Anne's hat was right in the way of him actually being seen. So, you know, in terms of the feud, obviously with all the rehearsals and everything, I'm sure they didn't get to talk. It was a very kind of whistle-stop tour from Harry. And, you know, from my perspective, no one gets it right all of the time. But I think the British feeling, and I'm by no means a royal correspondent or a royal expert, so this is just kind of coming from the heart because we do love Harry. He could have had it all. And we can all only ever try and do the right thing. But if he was to put his hand on his heart and ask himself whether the documentary, the book, the Oprah interview was the right thing to do, I think he must wonder if these things have been destructive and just done in anger. So think about this. Will his children thank him? You know, Archie on his birthday could have been at the King's coronation, but I completely get why Harry, you know, there was it was shown on air here that, you know, he then went to get a car to the airport. So he wasn't even there for the balcony piece. He's not a working royal. And obviously Charles has cut the working royals back. So the balcony was for the working royals. But my question to Harry is, was it worth it? Was it worth all of this? Perhaps he and Meghan could learn forgiveness. We think, and I say we as in the British public, not everybody, of course, everybody's got different views. But forgiveness, the art of forgiveness is something that his father has got in abundance.
So if you read spare, I mean, it seems Harry believes that the ball is actually in the court of the family. They are the ones, if they are willing, can call for a sit down. And you're seeing it the other way around. You actually believe that the ball is in their court, Harry and Meghan.
I believe that they should sit down as a family. I think from the, you know, there's obviously the historical, the pomp and ceremony that has been going on. You know, yesterday was a big day for the family. And I think what we saw yesterday, despite the fact that Harry was walking through there by himself, but actually, if you watch the footage, he was laughing and smiling. Who knows if they all actually spoke? I'd like to assume that they did. But, you know, I think from a feuding perspective, they do need to sit down. There's a lot that needs to be looked at. And I think The family were all there. Queen Camilla's family, obviously the king's family, and obviously yesterday was not the day for talking. In terms of that.
He showed up though for the coronation.
He showed up, and we love him for that.
Does that mean he still believes in the monarchy?
Who would? I mean, I haven't spoken to him personally, but I think. I don't know. I think a lot of what's happened has been done in anger, and I think I'd like to think that they will reconcile. We watched. I watched because I'm old enough. The brothers grow up together and how close they were, and I think as the British public, we're all very upset that they're no longer talking, and so we all want to think there's a pathway back, but who knows, behind closed doors. But I just think yesterday was a huge family moment, and I think what we're seeing as well is tradition at the same time as modernity. So, for example, there were changes to the service, bringing it more up to date. There was an anthem by Andrew Lloyd Webber. The King believes in sustainability, and so there was a lot of work that was done to make sure that things were recycled as opposed to being new. So although it was traditional, there was a lot of changes, and I think there's no denying that these are tumultuous times for the monarchy. As you know, we came to the end of the Elizabethan era earlier this year, and this resulted in changes that are unprecedented in history. So it's testing times for them. We've had the scandals. Let's not go into Prince Andrew, but and then obviously with Prince Harry. But the monarchy's still here. It's still strong. And as Brits, we all came together in tradition yesterday. We keep our sense of nation and patriotism, which is very separate from our politics. And let's be honest, as Brits, we all love a good bank holiday, and we all love a good party. Yeah. The concert is on tonight. Everybody's got the day off tomorrow. Fair enough, Harry's flown back, but yeah. So absolutely a fantastic weekend.
As far as Meghan is concerned, do you think the scrutiny that she receives should not be as important to her when weighed against the support that she should be giving to her father-in-law?
You think Meghan is that, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the scrutiny that I think it was the right thing for her to do. I actually think it was the right thing for her to do. And if you look particularly through the British media, there wasn't that much of it yesterday. It really all was about the family and the tradition and the coming together of communities and the whole country. So I think the scrutiny would have been much worse had she been here. But again, we have to remember that their children are very, very young. And for them to have had to have sat there through those 2-3 hours yesterday would have been quite a lot. So I think it would have been nice if the whole family had come, but I think the agreement over here is that actually it was better because the British, I mean, I'm sure over there you know how harsh the British press can be, and the focus would have completely shifted. So I think it was the right thing for her to do.
Vicky, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That is cultural transformation expert Vicky Sleight, of course, giving us some analysis of that coronation that took place there yesterday.